morning. I'm Sunny Sai. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Rebecca Castor. Here's a look at some of the stories we'll be talking about over the next half hour.
Coming up this morning, you may have missed it, but the first snow flurries of the year have already fallen. Find out how the city of Syracuse plans to handle the weather this winter.
And author Lawrence Ross spoke last night about racism on college campuses. Reporter Emily Barkin will tell us why this event was especially important to students in Greek life.
Plus, tomorrow is the second annual Boost the Q's fundraiser on campus. We'll tell you how much money Syracuse University is hoping to raise this year.
All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill.
Our top story this hour, we saw our first light flurries of snow this week, which means holiday music, hot chocolate, and slippery roads and icy sidewalks are all on the way.
Mornings on the Hill contributor Nick Kuzma has a story on how the city is prepared to handle snow on the roads.
Here we go again. The wind is whipping and the days are getting shorter. Soon Central and Upstate New York will once again be covered in tons of cold white powder.
Well, the people of Syracuse know a little thing or two about snow. They know how to handle it and they know how to drive in it. But their ability to do so is in thanks in large part to the city of Syracuse's Department of Public Works, who works around the clock to make sure its citizens' daily routines are not affected by inclement weather.
As we get closer to the end of the year, the DPW is getting ready for what is just the beginning. The department is in charge of removing snow and ice, and the closer winter gets, the more their workload increases. Ann Fordock is in her second winter as the Deputy Commissioner of the DPW. She's an Onondaga County native, but says last year her job came with a learning curve.
So last year was the first winter that myself and my commissioner, Jeremy Robinson, experienced with the city of Syracuse. And so we learned a lot of things that are going to prepare us better for this year. And so a big one is preparation.
Winter preparation is huge for a city that often receives more snow than anywhere else in the country. Getting ready for this kind of weather requires heavy-duty vehicles and road salt. Lots and lots and lots of road salt. Steve Bartum has been clearing Syracuse roads for over 2 decades. He asked for a little help from locals this year.
The main thing is the parking of the vehicles on the streets. When the cars are on the streets, sometimes we can't clear the streets, so we can't get down them. So it's hard. So I mean, the main thing is, hey, if you guys follow the rules and don't park on both sides of the streets, I'm telling you right now, we will get every street in the city plowed.
I'm Nick Kuzma reporting for Mornings on the Hill.
Based on the forecast, the city shouldn't have to worry about snow removal for at least a couple of weeks.
And speaking of the forecast, it's time to check your weather for today. Casey Busher, she's live on University Avenue to tell us what to expect.
Thanks, Rebecca and Sunny. It's been a cold week here in Syracuse. We saw our first sight of snow flurries, but luckily, snow is not in the forecast in the coming days. This week will bring some rainy, cold days in Syracuse. Today's high is 45 with a low of 34 and a 60% chance of rain. Thursday, the rain clears up with a high of 40 and low of 31 with partly cloudy skies. Friday will continue with cloudy skies and a high of 46 and a low of 34. The rain will be back on Saturday for the NC State football game with a high of 44 and a low of 36. Rain continues on Sunday with a high of 46 and a low of 37. So make sure to grab your umbrellas and rain jackets. It's going to be a rainy next couple of days here in Syracuse. I'm Casey Busher reporting for Mornings on the Hill. Back to you in studio.
Thanks, Casey. And other campus news, dozens of SU students took the streets recently to make a difference.
For these students, Sunday afternoon was spent trying to make campus a cleaner place.
With their gloves on and trash bags in hand, students picked up litter around the Euclid and Comstock area for 3 hours. This is the first of many cleanups to be done by NYPIRG, a student-led political organization. Organizers say this project aims to highlight the national issue of environmental protection. Organizers note that the timing of this cleanup is very important.
We really want to make sure that we are getting as much trash and litter off of the ground before the snow sets.
We chose to do a Sunday morning just because we know that there's a lot of like Saturday nights, Friday nights. It gets kind of wild around here just because it's a college town. So we're just going around cleaning up, making sure that like our community stays clean, stays beautiful, because we really want to make sure that like where we're living is the best place for us.
Sunday's cleanup was the kickoff event, and the next cleanup will take place on November 10th. Organizers stress the importance of coming together as a community to make SU a better place.
In other news, the university's review of fraternities and sororities continues here on campus, with final recommendations expected soon.
Our own Emily Barkan is live on Greek Row to tell us about efforts to combat racism in the Greek community. Emily.
The Greek community is trying to fight the bad with the good. Last night, Los Angeles Times best-selling author and member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Lawrence Ross, spoke to members of Greek life about how to move from being non-racist to anti-racist. Racism is a problem that plagues all college campuses, especially Syracuse University. The climate of the university has changed dramatically over the past year, with students demanding answers and change from the administration.
When we talk about things like isms, like racism and sexism and things like that, our whole point of going to a school like Syracuse is not to leave in the exact same way as we came.
Ross has traveled the country giving students, especially students affiliated with Greek letter organizations, the honest truth about racism on campus.
You can't sit up and then take the praise that comes from being a leader and being recognized by the fact that you wear your Greek letters, and then be angry that people hold you to that standard.
This event comes just weeks before the university receives the results from the Greek Life Review.
It goes to show that maybe we are slacking and we need to pick up the baton and work harder to get our message across, the message that we supposedly all believe in.
For now, students not only in Greek life, but throughout Syracuse University, hope that student body members took Ross's words to heart.
Be aware, open your eyes. Like he said, it goes from being non-racist to anti-racist. So for them to speak up against even other members, but also their own members in their own chapters. So it's important that they got the message to not be afraid and just say exactly what's in your mind, and what you think is wrong is probably wrong.
For more information on Ross, you can visit his website at thelawrenceross.com. Fraternity and sorority affairs are trying to create unity throughout the community while they await the results of the review. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Emily Barkan.
Thanks, Emily. Tomorrow marks the second annual Boost the Q's Day.
Starting at 12 a.m., Auto the Orange begins a 24-hour campaign to encourage alumni, students, parents, and friends to donate to Syracuse University.
The goal is 5,000 donors. Student ambassadors will be tabling across campus to encourage fellow students to join the cause.
As it sounds, tuition only covers 85% of the real cost of attendance here at SU. A lot of the things that you go to, speaking events, field trips, those are all covered by donation money. So to have all this donation money coming in from both big donors and also student donors as well is super important for the next generation of Syracuse students.
Students can donate to any SU department, whether it be SU Athletics or an individual college or scholarship.
If you're unable to make it to donation tables tomorrow, you can also donate online anytime on the Boost the Q's website. Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, Election Day is now less than 2 weeks away, and one local congressional candidate is encouraging SU students to get out and vote. We'll tell you more.
Also, a recent Common Council vote may bring more food options to the university area next season. Stay with us for those stories and much more here on Mornings on the Hill.
Welcome back. Yesterday, Syracuse University students had the opportunity to learn more about the effects of home evictions in our community.
Our own Alasia Williams joins us now with the story.
Henninger High School was filled with students and members of the Syracuse community last night to hear MacArthur Guinness Award recipient and Pulitzer Prize winner, writer Matthew Desmond speak about a part of an effort to raise awareness and foster dialogue around the issues of evictions and housing stability in our community. According to Forbes.com, about 70% of students who graduate high school enroll in a college. Students with wealthier families enroll in a college at the highest rate of 83%. Matthew Desbin spoke about the effect of lack of affordable housing, which directly affects younger children and ultimately impacts the chances of students being able to further their education.
Like even just a quiet room to do homework, right? Like the lack of affordable housing affects that problem. Having a teacher that they really bond with at school, where they can kind of go to when things get tough at home. The lack of affordable housing affects that problem.
67% of students from low-income communities are now enrolling in college. The good news is that rate is much, much higher than previous years and is continuing to grow. Matthew, author of Evicted, says that students should be aware of the issues because they can affect students even after graduation.
Because they're going to be personally affected by it. You know, a lot of students are paying 50, 60% of their income while going to places like Syracuse University. And when you graduate, the best jobs are often in cities that are really unaffordable. And so this is an issue because it affects your life, and it's an issue because it affects things you care about.
The event was led by Legal Services of Central New York in connection with Syracuse University College of Law, Falk School of Sports and Human Dynamics, and the Maxwell School. Students can get involved by participating in local nonprofit organizations. For more information, contact Legal Services of Central New York or visit www.lscny.org. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Alasia Williams.
Thanks, Alasia. Now, the Central New York congressional race came to campus last night. The Democratic challenger for New York's 24th District, Dana Balter, told a Grant Auditorium audience that campaign finance reform is the most pressing issue facing Congress.
Balter took a number of questions from students, but always circled back to her theme. Congress needs more leaders to represent the people that elected them.
With less than 2 weeks remaining until midterm elections, Balter made a point to remind students how much they can influence the direction of government if they simply show up to vote.
That your job as an American is to participate in whatever way works for you. But the takeaway from this needs to be, it's up to you. Our country as a democracy is what we make it. And we have so much power as individuals here. We are so lucky to have that power. We need to use it.
A series of 4 debates between Balter and incumbent John Katko are scheduled to take place over the next 2 weeks. The first will be live streamed tonight at 7 p.m. on Syracuse.com's Facebook page.
And new food options might be popping up for students.
Food trucks could be coming to Syracuse University after a recent vote by the Common Council.
City lawmakers voted to loosen restrictions on food truck operations in the city. The license fee to park a truck in Syracuse was lowered by $1,000, from $1,500 to $500. The council vote also allows for more available locations to serve food throughout Syracuse. This increase is almost by sevenfold, from 7 spots to nearly 50 spots. Potential food truck locations include places like Walnut Park near Byrd Library and areas in University Hill neighborhood.
One of the founders of the Syracuse Food Truck Association says the previous rules discouraged food trucks from vending on public property.
$1,500 fee is just way too much for food trucks. It's you know, it doesn't really guarantee you anything. Like, you get this one spot, you can't change your spot. Sometimes people park in the spots where the food trucks are supposed to be parking. It's like, it's just not very food truck friendly.
Food truck season for Syracuse is coming to a close and will pick up again in spring.
Some other places where food trucks may pop up include Clinton Square, Lincoln Plaza, and Columbus Circle.
To honor her late grandmother, one Syracuse University student and designer is encouraging cancer patients to ditch their wigs.
The nonprofit she created empowers patients to focus on their inner beauty rather than their outer appearance. Our Tyler Lyle is live in the studio this morning to learn how this designer uses her talents to make an impact.
Thank you, Sunny and Rebecca. I'm joined this morning by Megan Forbes. Megan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, no, it's great to have you here. So let's jump right in. Tell me a little bit more about Gone with the Wigs and sort of the inspiration behind that initiative.
Gone with the Wigs is a nonprofit organization that my mom and I created, inspired by my grandma and my grandpa, who they both passed away from lung cancer. And we created a fashion show that kind of all the runway people were cancer patients and people who have beat cancer. And so we kind of inspired them and built their confidence to walk the runway and show their true colors and not let their disease define who they are.
Absolutely. You know, and what's more empowering than being able to walk down the runway in
I know.
really bold, awesome clothes? So, you know, moving forward, what would you say has been your most significant achievement, or the thing that you're most proud of in terms of the work that you've done here at Syracuse so far?
I've gotten to do like every spectrum of project possible so far. So I think my most influential and my favorite project that I've done is a publication on Syracuse. It's called Crossings, and it highlighted the positives and negatives of Syracuse, and I was able to go out into the city and photograph locals and highlight the artistic side and the positives of Syracuse, but also highlight the negative sides that like need more help, like the education system and things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is a little bit more of a philosophical question, but how can people who don't consider themselves artists or people who don't consider themselves designers sort of incorporate design thinking in their day-to-day lives?
I think everyone has the potential to be creative. I really think it takes an open mind and thinking outside the box and not being narrow-minded. I think thinking of all different types of possibilities and ideating and really practicing that creative aspect, because everyone does have it. So I think it's just however you implement it, to always be open-minded.
Absolutely. No, and we were talking a little earlier about how once you're sort of shown how to look for design, you kind of start to see it everywhere,
you can't
right?
Stop,
you know, you can't help
everything is designed. So.
Everything is designed, and if it's done well, you don't even notice.
Exactly.
So,
That's the goal.
What's that?
That's the goal.
That is the goal. Yes, indeed. So, as a designer and as an artist, you were telling me a little earlier that you've been an artist for your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you say that your creativity comes from? Where do you draw sort of that inspiration?
Well, like you said, I've been an artist for my entire life, so I've always been interested in photography and painting and all that. So, but I think like the Gone with the Wigs project really got the wheels rolling and put my ideas in a real world perspective, and I was able to help other people and impact other people's lives and have them like open their mind to a new way of thinking about cancer in that kind of realm.
No, in a way that, you know, most people, I mean, those are two things that don't typically get associated with one another, you know.
Yeah.
So what's next? What are you working on right now? Where are you going to be going? What are you working on in the future?
Well, I'm working on a lot of different types of projects. I have a new project, like 3 projects a semester, so it's a lot of work. I'm going abroad next semester, so I'm very excited about that.
Very cool.
But in terms of future, I hope to hopefully graduate and have a job, but go work in an advertisement firm or a design firm and bring those same qualities and things that I've been learning in class and implement them in the real world and hopefully impact other people positively.
Very cool. Very cool. Was there anything that you wanted to leave with us before we?
Just thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's been really awesome to have you. Awesome. So once again, we just wanted to thank Megan Forbes for joining us this morning. I'm Tyler Lowell, live in the studio. Rebecca and Sunny, back to you.
Good morning, Orange Nation. I'm Casey Busher with your Orange Buzz. Syracuse football is coming off a double overtime win against North Carolina on Saturday, and fans are very excited about it. Even though it's World Series time, Justin Tompkins says, "Get off my timeline with baseball. Everyone knows it's Syracuse football season." Another fan, Syracuse Waterboy, says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hashtag Cuse fans of all ages, if you haven't already, buy some Syracuse tickets for the primetime game on Saturday night, because the Orange are about to make football great in Syracuse again. Hashtag pack the dome." Another fan said, 5-2 is pretty good, but hashtag Cuse football needs to keep the pedal to the metal when we are building a new culture. Hashtag I bleed orange. Orange are 1 win away from bowl eligibility. Another fan says, BG, I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank God for Syracuse football. That's all for your Orange Buzz. Make sure to catch Syracuse take on NC State this weekend on ESPN2. Now to Don Musillo with your Orange Sports.
Thanks, Casey. That's right, Orange. Thanks, Casey. That's right. Orange Nation has every right to be pumped up after Saturday's game. So let's get into these highlights. The North Carolina Tar Heels took a trip up north to the Carrier Dome this past weekend, looking to hand the Orange their third straight loss. Cuse looking to get their first win after a bye week in the Dino Babers era. Low-scoring affair in the second, and Chris Elmore, the fullback, on the 1-yard touchdown run, puts Cuse up 10-7. Started the third quarter, and Eric Dungy finding a seam through the Tar Heel defense and walks it in easily for the 16-yard score. Later on, Syracuse is forced to punt, and Daz Newsome back deep for UNC on the return, and he's going to have some room to work with. Finds a gap up the middle and cuts it back, makes one guy miss, and he's out across midfield. Newsome at the 30, the 20, the 10, and Newsome takes it to the house for the 75-yard touchdown. Orange struggling late, and Dungy gets pulled in favor of Tommy DeVito, who finds Nykeem Johnson on a bomb, and we are going to overtime. First possession in OT for Cuse, and DeVito drops a dime to Jamal Custis. He had 7 catches for 162 yards on the day and gives Cuse the advantage. Now UNC with a final chance to even things up, and Nathan Elliott goes right over the middle to the sophomore Bo Corrales. Double OT we go. Senior kicker Freeman Jones with a chance for a 48-yard field goal. Can he make it? Yes, sir. Cuse in desperation mode now, and Eric Dungy can only watch from the bench. Off a play action pass, Tommy DeVito is going to find Ravian Pierce in the end zone for the game-winning score. Cuse skates by in double OT to win this one, 40-37, the final. A little quarterback controversy brewing this week with the way Tommy DeVito played, but head coach Dino Babers isn't keen on announcing who will get the starting nod against NC State.
Keep it in-house because I don't want it to be advantage to the people that we're playing because they're such good opponents, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. You know, North Carolina State's an outstanding football team. Coach Dorn, I really respect him. He does a fantastic job.
The 22nd ranked NC State Wolfpack come to town Saturday for a primetime tilt in the Dome at 7 p.m. In other sports news, Athletic Director John Wildack says talks for a new apparel deal with Nike have been productive. Syracuse's contract with Nike ends this athletic year, and an announcement about a renewal should come before the new year. Some of the biggest deals around the country include UCLA's $19 million deal with Under Armour and Ohio State's $17 million deal with Nike. That's your Orange Sports Update. We'll be right back after this on Mornings on the Hill.
Welcome back. I'm Taylor Epps, and here's what's going on this weekend here on the Hill. Calling all moms, dads, brothers, sisters, and even pets because this is a family weekend here on campus. It is also the beginning of Remembrance Week on campus, a time where we honor the 35 students lost in Pan Am Flight 103 30 years ago. Here's everything you need to know going into this weekend. Tomorrow night, you've got 2 great options. Basketball fans, the Orange are taking the court in an exhibition game against the College of St. Rose at 7 p.m. TV and literary fans Arthur Margaret Atwood will be giving a talk at Hendricks Chapel at 7:30. You may know her as the creator of the show The Handmaid's Tale, something you binge watchers don't want to miss. On Friday, 35 trees will be planted on South Campus to commemorate the lives of the 35 students lost for the 30th Annual Remembrance Week. This will be happening from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. and you can volunteer at remembrance.syr.edu. Family Weekend begins Friday with tours and photo ops all day and an official Family Weekend welcome from Chancellor Subaru at 6:30. There will be a special Family Weekend tours of the We Remember Them Pan Am 103 exhibit starting Saturday morning at 10 a.m. in Byrd Library. After this, families can get ready to show some SU spirit with pregame festivities on the quad starting at 4 before the Orange football team faces the NC State Wolfpack in the Dome at 7. To wrap up the weekend, the annual Remembrance Week candlelight vigil will take place at Hendricks Chapel at 7 p.m. The names of student victims will then be read at the Wall of Remembrance. For more information on Parents Weekend, head to parents.syr.edu. And for Remembrance Week information, visit the Remembrance Week website. I'm Taylor Epps, and that's your Weekends on the Hill for this week. The Military Times has just released the best schools for veterans in 2019, naming Syracuse University the #1 private school and #4 school overall. It's the only private school to make the top 10 and has the highest military graduation rate of the top 5.
It's not the first time we've received this recognition. SU has been in the top 10 since 2017. When Chancellor Severud took office, he made military connections a top priority. He says he's proud to see his initiatives recognized by the Military Times. So this definitely isn't a surprise here, you guys. Ever since Chancellor Severud has come into his position, he's really putting Veterans Affairs at the top of his list.
I think that's so awesome. I'm so proud to go to a school like that.
I think so, and they're creating the Veterans Center that's going to open in 2020 across the street by Marshall's.
Yes, that's like unlike any other school. No other school has anything like that.
Well, that will do it for us this morning. I'm Sunny Sai. Thanks for watching Orange Nation.
And I'm Rebecca Castor. Check us out on social media and send us your story ideas. See you next week, Wednesday, 10 a.m. right here on OTN.